What's going on, everyone? American and Leeds, the American and Leeds YouTube channel. Hopefully going to get this up on Spotify. Hope you are fantastic. And cheers. Got some tea going. And if you're listening to this live, go to bed. It's too late. It's too late for you. You need to be asleep. You need to be resting. I've got some herbal tea. Just finished clearing down the kitchen, and ready to start a fantastic day tomorrow. So cheers, everybody. Agenda for this one. We're going to talk about the Spence loan, sending him back to Spurs. We're going to talk about Levi's Stadium. And we're going to talk about Farke's comments also on Jed Spence. And we're going to talk about Peterborough. I think I got it right, Peterborough. And the preview, that's going to be a little tasty fixture. I got to be honest with you. I've been looking at Peterborough, and they're going to be up for this game. I think they're going to play. They're going to play some football at the weekend. So I think it's going to be a little tasty fixture. We'll see what happens in terms of squad rotation. And Farke's got some explaining to do about sending Jed Spence back to Spurs early. My guess is he didn't rate him defensively, and he said something about that in a press conference, I think either subconsciously or consciously, which I think is unfair because I rated him defensively. I thought he was very good, specifically in the Ipswich game, playing on not his natural position. So let's go to Daniel Farke. He was asked, hey, this is before the West Brom press conference, talk to me about your fullbacks and where you like to play them, because you haven't really been playing Spence in his natural position. I think he got 2 games in his natural position.
Whether it be Byron, whether it be, Archie Gray, do you see them as very different players from what they are?
Yes, obviously they are different. So Jed Spence, offensive minded fullback. Archie Gray can do more or less do both. Is also good on the ball because he's used to play under pressure in midfield.
Jed Spence more or less offensive minded. After he basically shut down the Ipswich winger who was on a tear, he just blurts that out. Okay. Archie Gray can do both. I agree. He can do both. He's shown glimpses. He's been twisted up a little bit. I really can't recall Jed Spence on either side really getting burnt by a winger. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Junior Firpo, left-footed anyhow, also experienced player, said he was out such a long time with injuries. It's not in his rhythm. Yes, and Sam Byram, don't have to talk about him. I think outstanding season, probably the most consistent player, most consistent fullback, at least in my team so far. So obviously that's different.
Most consistent fullback. However, his availability is becoming an issue, Daniel. I mean, again, this is a week ago, but
I know we're talking straight after the Preston game now, but West Brom,
you can tell a little bit where his head was at even back then. So, this from Joe Tiffany. Update: LUFC, according to various sources, Jed Spence has been told on numerous occasions to change his attitude in training and on match day. Daniel Farke won't be going into too much detail about why Jed Spence has left tomorrow. Okay. It's like they've already been told, hey, you get one question about Jed Spence. I'm not going to go into detail. That's a little... The book lays with Farke, shall we say. The buck stops with him. So, Hey, Carl. Doing well, doing well. But it's just disappointing to me, because now you're probably going to be bringing in a fullback, and it's going to take him a while to learn the system. Farke out. Yeah, hey, not that. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying, and maybe there's some other things to play, like FFP, or maybe he was a cancer in the locker room. Hey, Chris. Um, Yeah, so maybe there's some other things at play here, um, and maybe it just wasn't working out. So I think it's dangerous position of where they're at right now. But you guys need to be going to sleep, man. What are you guys doing up? Uh, so, anyways, that's that. I think we'll see what Farke has to say. The second thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was this really kind of like I call it propaganda piece that was up on the Daily Mail. And a lot of it's just fluff to me. I mean, they go in depth about the 49ers and going into the 49ers stadium. I think, context needs to be given here, about what the 49ers do every weekend. They have 8 home games a year. 8 home games a year. Leeds have like 20 plus. Maybe if they have the playoffs, they go further. But I just don't think here's Levi's Stadium. I don't think Leeds United is going to turn into like Tottenham overnight. And all of this is contingent on promotion. So the fact that they like released this, or they invited a journalist into Levi Stadium to see how they do it, I think there's elements of what they do there. But I think the idea that, Leeds United in 5 years is going to turn into one of the biggest stadiums and you know and expanded, a la Spurs, or I know Spurs is pretty much a brand new stadium, and I get that there's desire across England to expand a lot of these football stadiums. But I mean, just for context, it's placed in Silicon Valley, some of the biggest tech companies in the world. This entire like building here that's on the structural over here, this is all corporate suites that they sell out. You know what I mean? You have to have the capability to sell these, and like the tickets to go to just be here, like in the nosebleeds of Levi Stadium, probably like $200. Parking at Levi Stadium is like $125 if you want to get close to the stadium. So, and again, they only have 8 games. So they have to maximize those 8 games a year. That's guaranteed. Obviously, playoffs playoffs can be another 3 max. Leeds will have more, but I think the punchline is that Leeds United and the Leeds United board are going to be looking to maximize game day revenue, match day revenue more and more. But I think the idea that some of the concepts in that article, that it's going to be similar to what Levi Stadium is, and the Levi Stadium experience, I think is a little bit, I don't know. I think it's misleading. So my punchlines out of this whole article was really, the board is interested in investing only if, this is the caveat, we have to get promoted. Like none of that happening, the tram and all of that stuff, and the expansion of some of these, I think, stands, none of that really happens unless Leeds United get promoted. But it tells you their appetite and how serious they are about getting this. I'm sure they've already got blueprints and renderings of what this will look like. The second thing was really like the last 2 or 3 paragraphs. Farke runs the show and is backed by the board. And the 49ers are looking at transfers, but mostly through loans, not through, I think, permanent deals. But we'll see. Maybe there'll be a small deal done. I do expect this to be kind of more of a quiet window than we actually really expect, and we've already seen an outgoing in Jed Spence. So anyways, that's that. Let me look at the comments section, see if there's anything. We need a right back and a left back, says Carl. Hey, if it was bad news, then I can understand. Let him go. However, that's another one to bring in. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, we need depth at the fullback position, and I don't know. Maybe they think that there's some fight left in Luke Ayling. I don't know. Might be able to get. He's licked his wounds. He hasn't even been on the matchday squad for so many weeks. He's not terrible going forward. Luke Ayling rotated might be okay. You also have Jamie Shackleton, but I think you do need a fullback. I think you need a left back. Where does this put Junior Firpo, who's been a ghost for most of the time that he's been here too? He just had a decent performance over the weekend. I don't know. This game upcoming will be, I think, good to evaluate Junior Firpo. So we'll see. I mean, I'm disappointed too. I was shocked. I wouldn't have done it. I mean, he again 2 games at his natural position. Evening, my friend. Evening. I like that name. Saskal. Prouk. I don't know how to say that. Madison news dump for Prague. Leeds did the same beginning of last season. They don't talk, so I think it's just an update. Probably get another one at the end of the season. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that they're leaking, I called it controlled leaks. You're kind of correcting me. We had a back and forth. I think it's controlled leaks to the Daily Mail. Gier said that it's not leaks. They're actually bringing them in. Whatever. The Daily Mail is the paper of record for Leeds United, it seems like. How much for the hot dog? I don't know. Keep all 3 until the end of the season. Loan. I want to get into that later. Yeah, the stuff I posted, keep, sell, loan. A little bit later. We need to get 2 or 3 quality players in this window. Very shocked about Spence. Thought he looked good. 2 or 3 good. I don't. I think we need a fullback. I'm less. I think bullish like on a striker. We'll see. I know there's been a couple of names linked. If a deal can get done and they improve the side, then I think that's what the 49ers will do. I don't think they're going to go all in and try to go. They're business people. And I talked about this in another capacity a couple weeks ago. Like, they're looking at it. They're 7 from top. They're 7 from the second position. I think the Christmas period didn't go as planned, but it didn't go completely disastrous. I think they were able to kind of save it from the fire a little bit with the last result. But they might be selling more than buying, and just if it's going to be playoffs, then why would they put all their chips in the center and forego FFP if they think, or even cut it close with FFP if they think the top 2 is gone. Now, I realize 7 points is not necessarily gone, but they're in 4th place. They were in 3rd. I don't know. It was a disappointing Christmas period. Let's move on to Peterborough. Let me just play this. I want to play this here. This is a shout out to Phil, because I was an American and I was going, Peterborough, like a real, you guys might say knob.
Hi, Alex. Just for your information, it's Peterborough. Okay, mate.
Peterborough. Anyways, I think it's going to be a tasty fixture this weekend. Just read some stats here. This is the first FA Cup meeting between Peterborough and Leeds since January 1986, with the Posh winning a third round tie 1-0. Leeds United are unbeaten in their last 5 meetings with Peterborough in all competitions, 4 wins, 1 draw. With this, the first being between the sides since a 1-1 draw in the championship of March 2013. Peterborough have progressed from just 2 of their last 14 FA Cup ties against a higher division opponent, both coming in the 3rd round against the championship sides. Leeds have reached the 5th round. I thought this was interesting because, again, I've been a fan for about basically this time period, 7 years. So Leeds have reached the 5th round of the FA Cup. Leeds last year, basically, Leeds reached the 5th round of the FA Cup last season, ending a run of 5 straight defeats at the 3rd round stage. So we've always bounced out since I've been a fan of the FA Cup very quickly, which is fine. I don't have romantic illusions about the FA Cup. I think I obviously know that we've won it a few times, the way a lot of, I think, the people that watch this show are. Again, I did some data that most of the people that watch my channel are above 50. So you guys might have some FA Cup memories, but I've always wanted to focus on the league. If we can pick up games with heavy rotation, I prefer that and see how far we can get. But the focus has always been either survival in the Premier League or, promotion since I've been a fan. Leeds reached the 5th round of the, Peterborough, Joe Randall has been involved in 7 goals in his 5 starts in the FA Cup, 3 goals, 4 assists, including 4 in 3 for the Posh this season. 1 goal and 3 assists. So when I look at Peterborough, they are a possession-based side. They dominate possession. You're looking at they have shipped some goals lately, some 2-2 draws with Reading and Barnsley. Recent win against Derby County, on Monday, on New Year's Day. But again, you're looking at 66% possession. They did ship 2 goals that game. So I think they come out and play some football against Leeds United. They're 3rd in the League One standings. They've scored 50 goals. So they will give us a game. They've only conceded 27. They have a goal difference of plus 23, and they sit on 49 points. They've played 25 games, 25 matches. So they're scoring 2 goals a game. They're undefeated in their last 5. They will have a little bit of swagger. That's the best way I can put it in this game. So expect a good game. I mean, this will be I think a time that Farke should really see what he's got in some of these other players. A la Willie Nanto. I mean, I think this is really time. This is an interesting time. Willie Nanto, I think, could be shown the door, quite honestly, this window, based on his behavior earlier in the year. And then also, I think just his lack of, he's been putting in some hard yards, but for whatever reason, he hasn't produced into goals and assists. So it might be time. And we do have Jaden Anthony, who has not gotten too much game time, but we could maybe play and be that rotational winger that we're looking for. So, again, in order to comply maybe as well with FFP, that we might sell Anato. So interesting times, interesting window. for Leeds United. I want to see Joseph get a start, says Chris Fox, and maybe Pervada in the 10. Yeah, I mean, those guys are young and they're rotational candidates. So again, if those guys aren't getting health or aren't getting playing time, was Willie expendable? Maybe. Never mind Leicester and their nonsense. We will still win this division. All right, Bandy. All right. Hey man, I don't know. Second place, I think, is where we're at, where we could be, and I think it's certainly capable. But you know that you have to start hedging your bets, and that's what that's what they do. That's what that's what the York family does. It's a product. It's a business for them. They're not fans. I'm saying this as an American. They're cold business people. They're just cold blooded. They're ruthless. So, I lived in Leeds when they won it. When they won the division? Oh, when they won the FA Cup. Whoa. Rob the Gob 707. You're a legend, my friend. Eddie D got Santa Clara tax players to pay for the stadium. Yeah, it's an entity. They also get revenue from, and the Leeds might be looking to do this from like concerts. They might get the Rhinos to do a couple events there over the summer when they don't have to beat up the field, beat up the pitch. We need to get 2 or 3 quality. I already read that one. Free falling. Yeah, I mean, you'd like 2 or 3, but I just don't know if they go for it. I'm still on the fence with Farke. I'm a Farke skeptical. That's what my friend Michael Maynard says. I'm a Farke skeptical. I hope that he proves me wrong. I still believe second place is in the cards. Yeah. I mean, when he has the most talented team week in, week out, he should be winning most of these games. You know, in the Premier League, he will not have the most talented team. You know, that just won't. We won't be able to. The first year back, we should have a better, hopefully more clinical and talented team. But, you know, Premier League's ruthless. It's absolutely ruthless. And so he will have an extremely short leash. And they better the board better have a plan B, C, D ready to go. Because I don't think they have any interest in going back down. Once we come back up. So I just want like a little thought on Patrick Bamford. I always go back and forth on Patrick, and I'm going to say that I think we should keep Patrick Bamford this window. Why do I say that? Well, Patrick Bamford, one of the things that the thing that he does is the one thing that he is elite at is his movement at a number 9 position. It's really, there is no one like him, as frustrating as he is, and has off as he's been, in a way that he cannot put the ball in the back of the net prior to this last weekend. No one does the things that he does, and he doesn't. There's not a 9 that grows on trees that really sits. That's that old school number 9 that sits between the center backs, presses most of the game, and gets his teammates involved. I think he's decent at hold up play. I think he's a little bit too gun shy. There was a couple of times where he should have been a little bit more aggressive in terms of his shooting, and he laid the ball off. It was almost, they tried to walk it in a couple of times, or he tried to lay the ball off for a teammate, which is nice to do sometimes, but occasionally you want you want a Crease Somerville. You want somebody that's just going to want to take the shot. And so he gets a little bit shy, but like that. But if that can be reinstilled in him the way it was under Bielsa, if Farke can pull that out of him, I do think he's got a place in the side, and if he can be healthy. So while I wanted to sell him, most of the past 4 months, and I wanted to get him in the bin. There was something about the game against Birmingham that just showed me that, he can still do the work that is required to be a very unique number 9. Nowadays, unfortunately, 9s like to drop deep. They like to be like Ruter. They want to play like Harry Kane. They want to go get the ball, and that's great. But they're not Harry Kane. In the meantime, Jaffe, when he had a chance to lead the line, he couldn't do it. He kept trying to go deep and get on the ball. Same with Ruter. He wants to drop deep. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to get a touch, which is, I think, it's impatient. It's an impatient thing. And the reason that he got a call to England, the reason that he was able to get that, I mean, it's very difficult to. England's one of the top 5 countries in the world, especially now, to get a call up to. It was because of his movement. It's because he's able to lead the line and create that space for everybody, even though he's been so terribly unclinical. So I think I have a little bit more time for Patrick Bamford, which is crazy to say because I swear to you, if you asked me literally like 7 days ago, 10 days ago, I would have told you to sell him. It's time. One of my priorities this window was to sell him because I thought he was a cancer in terms of just his, he just didn't have it. So God, I hate to be back on the other side of this, but I am. And there's no one that can really do it. I mean, I think name a 9 that does what Bamford does. I mean, Kiefer Moore, right, is the one that everybody's saying bring in, or Wood. I remember Wood when I first started following Leeds, he was incredible, like a classic, number 9 that you would head up the ball to. Do they really have the work rate of Patrick Bamford? I don't know. I don't think they do. Bamford puts in more of a shift than Perot in my eyes. Yep. I can't rely on Pat to stay fit for the rest of the season. This is true too. If you can have him for 70 minutes a game, though, this is where I'm starting to hesitate. We won't survive in the Premier League with this squad. Yeah, that's why I think it will have a bring out Metallica for the concerts. Yeah. Enter Sandman. Farke won't be a manager if we get Premier League. Interesting. I'm sensing the same with Bamford, I think. Yeah, than me? Yeah, I think so. So it's weird to say because he cannot put the ball in the back of the net sometimes. And most of the time for the past 24 months, he couldn't do it. But it's just weird to say that I just haven't. I mean, I watch a lot of English football. I can't say I watch it like around the world. I don't know. Jesus can't stay fit. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, Holland's at a different level. I mean, but he does stay patient and does not touch the ball and, gets, he's at a different level. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying those type of guys that do those things that deeply know the position they're not available. They're not available. And that's why 5 or 6, not that long, but like 3-4 years ago when they were offering strikers to Marcelo Bielsa, and he said, none of those guys do what Patrick Bamford does. And this is well quoted by Phil Hay. I can't remember the guys they were offering. He was right. And I'll just end with this. He struggles when he knows he's the guy And there's we didn't have any backup striker for like years in the Premier League. That was terribly dangerous. But he's been out. He knows that Perot is there. He knows that Ruter is there. He knows that Joseph is there. And he knows that when there's some other people pushing him, he actually becomes better, a la Roof, a la Eddie Nketiah. So just I'm willing to take a longer look at him this window. I'll just end there. And then the last thing was I'll just start with, what do we do with Perot? He needs goals, but where does he fit in the system? I think he is I think he's going to be playing the 9 because Ruter played the 10 even when Perot got subbed back on. And that's why I think he's the backup 9. I think those two have to ballot back and forth between who's going to be the 9. Here's my list. Here's my wish list. My one thing that I want Leeds United to get this transfer window. It's not a 10 because I think Ruter is decent in there. I mean, we could get a backup 10, but 10s are even as harder to find than 9s, in my opinion. A fullback that can put in a cross. And by that, I mean a free kick, a corner, that can shape a ball on a free kick. I want a fullback that's a good fullback, a good, but the biggest thing, I want a set piece. God, I don't know. I want somebody that can honestly pay, because teams are fouling us in and around the box, specifically around the box, and we get free kicks and they're terrible. And I think Somerville one day could be great at it. I think Dan James can get better at it. But I really want a fullback that can shape a ball, that can put it on somebody's head. That's what I'm looking for. And we'll see if that's delivered. I think defender, I think they do get I think they get a center back. I think they get more defensive than they get offensive. I don't think he messes with that front four, and that and the front four is kind of like rotation with Anthony, with Joseph, with Bamford, Perot, all those guys. I don't think, I mean, maybe Nanto goes just because they want to maybe, get a good, clean locker room. But I think if you see additions, and the midfield's the holding 2 is pretty much stacked. I mean, Gruev can't get in. I think they add additions to the back line, a center back, maybe 2 fullbacks. I think that's what we're going to see. All right, let's go to the final question. I'm just interested. I like these thought exercises, and then we'll get out of here. Keep, sell, loan, Bamford, Ayling, Cooper. So my thought was keep Bamford. See, before Spence, it was sell Ayling and loan Cooper. But you probably want 2 of these guys at least. You want either Bamford and Cooper because of his leadership, abilities. And he didn't do too terribly against Birmingham, which was a really bad side. And Ayling just because of his knees. I mean, he wasn't even getting into the squad. I think I stay there. But the more interesting one are these borderline players. I think I misspelled Joseph, but Joffe, who was as one time he was more touted than Somerville. I mean, Joffe, people forget 4 years ago, Joffe was supposed to be the next Wayne Rooney. So it feels weird because I think people are going to be ready to sell Joffe, but it's hard to do that because he was a highly, highly touted prospect at one point. Same with Cresswell. So Joffe, Cresswell, Joseph, keep, sell, loan. I think I loan Joseph. I don't know. I feel like I've seen more from Cresswell, maybe because of his loan spell at Millwall. So loan Joseph, keep Cresswell, and sell Jaffe. That's where I'm at on those. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am interviewing. I got to take a drink of this. I am interviewing Joe from Just Joe on Friday. It's going to be mainly just more about Joe's story, what makes Joe tick, and how he became a Leeds fan, and then also just probably some stuff about what's going on currently. That's it. That's my time. 13 or so of you in here. 15 as you exit, smash the like, and have an awesome night. Up the Whites, and should be a little interesting Farke presser tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.